at Red Lion Square, Holborn, London.
So there was a beautiful black Pomeranian passing through the gardens in the West End of London with a middle-aged guy and a Westie Scotty dog. I had 5 dogs with me at the time. I was walking the same area. My dogs are very small Chihuahua mixes and Pomeranians. They bark when they see other dogs, not because they are aggressive, just because they like to be seen. The man panicked with his Pomeranian and was Highland Scotty dog, intent on the lead pretty hard, as I think it was fear of maybe his dogs, as they were bigger than my little hand by dogs. So we held them to protect my dogs as they were approaching. Do you have them for about 2 minutes taking on the leads? It was really nice all day that day as he was holding them off the ground a little bit. I noticed one of his dogs was coming off the ground as he tugged them on their leads, but one of the dogs just didn't look right. He looked kind of unconscious as his tongue was hanging out. I then ran over to the man and said, "You're killing your dog, you cannot breathe." Then I said, "Let the leash go." I pulled on the dog's collar to see if it was too tight. Then the man released the lead. The poor little thing flopped to the ground, his tongue hanging out, totally unconscious. I got on the ground with the dog, put my 4 fingers on his collar to check the collar if the collar was too tight, realizing it was the weight of the dog with a collar around his neck that choked him, as the man left it in from the ground with a collar putting pressure on his windpipe. The man looked at me and I said, "We've got to act fast." He looked in shock. I started to punch the little dog's abdominal area to get some into his lungs. Then said, "We have to be fast, pick him up." We both tried so hard to revive him with all the movements. The man stopped for a second. The dog was still limp, lifeless. I said, "Don't give up, keep trying, come on." I found the little dog's belly area to try and get his lungs moving while he was repeating his movements to revive him. Then suddenly, bingo, our little furry friend revived. I took a breath and said, "He's okay." I hugged the man and said, "We did it, he's back." I didn't really know the man understood English, as he was Asian. Then I said to him it was a collar. I have to get rid of the collar. The collar was synthetic material. I'm very hot to the touch, and he was responsible for the dog's unconsciousness. I took a breath of relief. A massive weight was taken from me. "Do you know this little guy was okay?" Then I said to the man, "Please, please, tell me you understand me. You must buy a harness for this dog and never put a collar on him again." I repeated, "Do you understand?" He said, "Yes, I understand." I then hugged him again and said, "We all can make this mistake. These dogs underneath their fur are very fragile and small. They have tiny necks. I made for a collar. They should only ever have an harness attached to the leash." He said, "Yes, I understand." As I held my 5 dogs on the leashes, I walked away with my hand on my head, sat on a bench and cried. It was very traumatizing. This is a lesson for anyone that has a small dog. Never put a collar on the dog so small.